Hi everyone, I'm Angie, Certified Mindfulness Instructor, and this is my guest teacher.
Hi, I'm Aria,
How old are you, Aria?
10 years old.
Do you remember when we started practicing mindfulness together?
Not really.
It was a long time ago. It was a very long time ago. Aria is going to be my student teacher today, and we're going to go over a really important mindfulness practice called the body scan. And the body scan has been adapted a bit in my children's meditation teaching world so I could make it a little bit more accessible for children very, very young. I started practicing the body scan with my sons when they were babies by doing very light, feathery massage, starting at the toes and saying the word toes, toes, toes. And I would do this after the tub, right before I would put them down for bed. The body scan is something that I learned to do about 21 years ago as a mindfulness practitioner, and it's helped me get a really nice restful sleep. So if we start doing this with our children at very young ages, over time, they will start to remember these practices themselves. So we're going to start. This is Aria's pretend bed because, as I mentioned in all of my classes, I don't want a creepy camera in your bedroom actually taping you before bed. Do you understand that? Of course. So this is going to be the fake bed. And I have to tell you that I usually do practices with children, even if it's before bed. So right now, if your child is watching and you're in their bedroom and they're laying down, my suggestion is that you either lay with them or you stand up and you do the techniques with them. This is really empowering for the child that mom or dad or grandma or grandpa is doing this cool thing with me. It's not just another thing that an adult is telling me to do as they watch. We're doing it together and then we get a really cool bonding experience, right? High five. Let's do it. Lay back. And Aria is very flexible because she is a competitive dancer for many, many years. So if you're not flexible, like Aria, and I'm not, you're going to bend your knees deeply if you're in a laying down position because we want to be able to access our toes. So we're going to start by touching our toes. So bend those knees deeply if you can't just reach down, or even if you can, Aria, just for the sake of the lesson, just bend those knees a little bit so you kind of pop up. There you go. And now you just start by tapping your toes, and you're actually going to say, I tap my toes.
I tap my toes.
I tap my toes.
I tap my toes.
I tap my toes, I breathe in.
I tap my toes, I breathe in.
I tap my toes, I breathe out.
I tap my toes, I breathe out.
Very nice. Moving up to the shins, I tap my shins.
I tap my shins.
I tap my shins.
I tap my shins.
I tap my shins, I breathe in.
I tap my shins, I breathe in.
I tap my shins, I breathe out.
I tap my shins, I breathe out.
Now, if you could, I'm going to ask that you help to train your eyes as well. Mindfulness is brain training, and we're going to train our eyes. So bring your eyes to where your fingers are tapping your shins and move up to the knees. Watch your fingers as they tap your knees and say, I tap my knees.
I tap my knees.
I tap my knees.
I tap my knees.
I tap my knees, I breathe in.
I tap my knees, I breathe in.
I tap my knees, I breathe out.
I tap my knees, I breathe out.
Straightening those legs so you could access the full upper leg. I tap my legs.
I tap my legs.
I tap my legs.
I tap my legs.
I tap my legs, I breathe in.
I tap my legs, I breathe in.
I tap my legs, I breathe out.
I tap my legs, I breathe out.
Beautiful. Now Aria can actually lay back down, I think, and we're moving to the tummy. I tap my tummy.
I tap my tummy.
I tap my tummy.
I tap my tummy.
I tap my tummy, I breathe in.
I tap my tummy, I breathe in.
I tap my tummy, I breathe out.
I tap my tummy, I breathe out.
Moving up to the heart. I tap my heart.
I tap my heart.
I tap my heart.
I tap my heart.
I tap my heart, I breathe in.
I tap my heart, I breathe in.
I tap my heart, I breathe out.
I tap my heart, I breathe out.
Arms are going to come separate, and then it doesn't matter which side you start on. One hand comes up, I tap my hand.
I tap my hands.
I tap my hand.
I tap my hands.
I tap my hand, I breathe in.
I tap my hands, I breathe in.
I tap my hand, I breathe out.
I tap my hands, I breathe out.
Moving up to the lower arm, I tap my arm.
I tap my arm.
I tap my arm.
I tap my arm.
I tap my arm, I breathe in.
I tap my arm, I breathe in.
I tap my arm, I breathe out.
I tap my arm, I breathe out.
Moving to the elbow, I tap my elbow.
I tap my elbow.
I I tap my elbow.
I tap my elbow.
I tap my elbow, I breathe in.
I tap my elbow. I breathe in.
Bring those eyes to watch your hand tap your elbow. I tap my elbow, I breathe out.
I tap my elbow. I breathe out.
Moving to the upper arm and the shoulder, I tap my shoulder.
I tap my shoulder.
I tap my shoulder.
I tap my shoulder.
Seeing if you could look right at that hand, your head's going to turn a bit. I tap my shoulder, I breathe in.
I tap my shoulder. I breathe in.
I tap my shoulder, I breathe out.
I tap my shoulder. I breathe out.
Arms separate. Other side. I tap my hand.
I tap my hands.
I tap my hands.
I tap my hands.
I tap my hand, I breathe in.
I tap my hands. I breathe in.
I tap my hand, I breathe out.
I tap my hands. I breathe out.
Moving up, I tap my arm.
I tap my arm.
I tap my arm.
I tap my arm.
I tap my arm, I breathe in.
I tap my arm. I breathe in.
I tap my arm, I breathe out.
I tap my arm. I breathe out.
Moving to the elbow, I tap my elbow.
I tap my elbow.
I tap my elbow.
I tap my elbow.
I tap my elbow, I
I tap
breathe
my
in.
elbow. I breathe in.
You know what's next.
I tap my elbow. I breathe out.
Moving to the shoulder, I tap my shoulder.
I tap my shoulder.
What's next?
I tap my shoulder. I tap my shoulder. I breathe in. I tap my shoulder. I breathe out.
Both hands to both shoulders, I tap my shoulder.
shoulders. I tap my shoulders. I tap my shoulders. I breathe in. I tap my shoulders. I breathe out.
Back to the heart.
I tap my heart. I tap my heart. I tap my heart. I breathe in. I tap my heart. I breathe out.
Good job. See if we can go around to the back.
I tap my back. I tap my back. I tap my back. I breathe in. I tap my back. I breathe out.
Moving to the belly. Moving up. Gentle, gentle, gentle. I tap my face.
I tap my face.
I tap my face.
I tap my face.
I tap my face. I breathe in.
I tap my face. I breathe in.
I tap my face. I breathe out.
I tap my face. I breathe out.
Moving to the ears. Take it over, Aria.
I tap my ears. I tap my ears. I tap my ears. I breathe in. I tap my ears. I breathe out.
Moving up to that head. Gentle, gentle. I tap my head.
I tap my head.
My eyes have naturally closed. If your child is laying down and you're tapping their head for them, keep their eyes closed if they want to, or they can open that back up. I tap my head, I breathe in.
I tap my head. I breathe in.
I tap my head, I breathe out.
I tap my head. I breathe out.
Slow down the tap. Back to the toes. If your child is sleeping, move like a pet, like you're petting your dog or your cat. Start nice and light. Toes, shins, knees,
Knees, legs, tummy, heart,
arms. Give yourself what we call a calm body hug. Nice little squeeze. Breathing in. Breathing out. Arms down. How do you feel?
better and calm and relaxed.
Better and calm and relaxed. We're going to ask Aria a couple of questions because I told her before we started recording that I was going to be asking you questions.
You did.
I did. When you say better, calm, relaxed, point to where in your body better feels. Point. Show me.
My stomach.
Yeah. Before we started recording, did your tummy feel a little,
It felt a little weird, even though I performed on stages for more than half of the years of my life. It always seems a little nerve-wracking.
Nerve-wracking. What a beautiful term, nerve-wracking. I've done these lives before, and do you know that I have a secret? I feel nervous before I teach every single time, not just on camera, but I feel nervous before I teach every day because I want to do my best. And when I want to do my best at something, I put a little bit of extra pressure on myself, and from that comes nerves. The pressure that I put on myself doesn't serve me so much, but the nervous feeling does. So when I feel that nervous feeling out, mine lives here too, just like Aria's. Now I know I put my hands on my belly just like this. I breathe in. I breathe out. After one breath, I feel a difference, but it usually takes 3 or 4. I can tell you it's already gone. And that nervous feeling settles enough that I can remember the lines to things that I want to say. For Arya, she can remember her dance moves. If you play a sport, it'll calm you down just enough that you can remember your positioning and things that coaches told you. You can remember that you've prepared and you've trained and that you actually are able to do hard things, even when you feel nervous. So Arya used the words calm, better, and relaxing. That word relaxing is a good word. What does relaxing mean to you?
It means that if like I'm really stressed out and my body's tight and together, that if mindfulness helps me loosen up and let my mind rest.
Yeah, now Arya learned mindfulness a few years ago, and she and her mom and her little brother, they practice mindfulness for sure. But that doesn't mean that you can't start right now. If you're watching this, you already did. And if you watch this on recording, even if you're not about to go to bed, as long as it's a safe space, so as long as it's not a mom driving, right? We understand that if a mom is driving, she can't start tapping her toes. But if you see this video, just tap those toes. Or another way that you can do it is to actually give a pat. Another way that you can do it is to give a pet. This is what I used to do when my boys were very, very little babies. I would pet, this is called effleurage in Swedish bodywork. I would pet just like this in these long flowing motions, and I would say toes, shins, knees,
legs, tummy, heart, arms, face, head.
And it was almost like I was taking a shower of comfort. It was almost like I was giving myself a shower of comfort. And before I knew it, the nerves settled, and I was able to access things in my memory and in my brain that didn't involve just nervousness. I was able to think a little bit straighter. That's what mindfulness practice does. Mindfulness is about noticing what's happening on the inside as it notices what's happening on the outside with a sense of kindness. And sometimes the thing that we're noticing is unpleasant, maybe like nervousness that feels a little unpleasant. So if we practice our mindful breathing, breathing in through our nose like we're smelling something, blowing all the air out. And if we add in intentional movement like the body scan, the body will tend to relax, it will settle, and whatever the stuff that we were thinking about that was keeping us up, this is a big term that if children are watching, you might not have heard it before, but for my moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas, separation anxiety at bedtime will tend to calm down, but it does take practice. So I'm going to ask to challenge yourself. Add the body scan into your bedtime routine. You might do it right after tub, you might do it right after the shower, right as someone is laying in bed. When you go to your room, you do the body scan. And if you can do it without tapping, if you can just bring a body part to the attention and just put attention there without touching it, thinking about the toes, right? Bringing awareness there. So when I say thinking about the toes, not so much thinking about how they are for you, but bringing your awareness to any physical sensation that you feel. And then go to the ankles and the legs. That's the body scan for adults that maybe don't need so much physical movement. But for children, it really helps if we do the tapping, right? Yeah, we've done the body scan in other areas, and it's a little too abstract for my childhood friends here. So thank you for joining us. If you have any questions for Arya or for myself, you can tap them, or you can email us at theintegratedmind@gmail.com. We do have a website, www.theintegratedmind.com, where you'll see all kinds of awesome freebies and resources and articles, and we can send you different videos to try with your family. But this one is perfect to start, and we challenge that you do this each night for the next 7 nights, and then speak to your child about how they feel and what bedtime has shifted and what it means for them. Do you have anything else to add?
No.
You did a beautiful job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Arya, will you please press the red button?
I know my colors.
Nice job.